Mike. I'm joined by the other members of the Connected Agent team, Aaron Cassover, Jonas Roser, Wes Lefebvre, and Travis McQueen are all with us here this morning. And Aaron's going to go ahead and kick things off.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us in this special February edition of the Connected Agent Users Group. Got a few things to go over today. Let's see if I can get the agenda up. Mike, is my screen showing through okay?
Yeah, it's a little small, but we're getting the whole thing, so good to go.
It's a little small. Okay, good deal. So first things first, we want to do a check-in. A couple things we want to check in on. We are archiving all of the webinars. As you know, we're recording these sessions. And I am interested in seeing if anybody here on the call has accessed any of the recorded webinars. If you've looked at them, if you have gone back and watched part of one, could you just raise your hand for us just so we could see who's using these? We're not going to call you out. We're not going to ask any questions. We just kind of want to get a sense of if this is a resource that's being used or not. Mike, are you seeing hands come up?
Yeah, just a couple. Just a
Okay.
couple. About 5 now.
Okay. So
All right.
some of you are using them. That sounds good. And those of you that aren't, if you ever want to watch one of these, we record all the sessions we have since the very beginning, and it's always worth your while to go back and check on ones that you missed. Mike, can you tell us where they can find them?
Actually, Travis is the man in possession of those. I believe they've been emailed out to everybody on a couple of occasions. Travis, give us the details on that.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Yep. And they are also located in the user group on LinkedIn, if you are a part of the group on LinkedIn. Also, they have been emailed out at the end of the year, but we can get the new one out for January and February on there. But they're all on there on LinkedIn Connected Agent User Group.
Okay, great.
There you go.
That's good. We're trying to use that users group or that LinkedIn page as our sort of central location to put stuff, and you'll see that when we talk about the second point today. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that some of you are using them. It's good to know. So the second point here in checking in is just this update. You may have seen some leads come through your website that look kind of fishy. There might be some mention of Viagra or who knows what else in the content of those emails. We certainly do apologize for that. This is one of the sort of the downsides of being on the web, is that there are these legions of spammers out there trying to get their message through. And the reason why they're spamming these forums is because they're hoping it's like a comment form that will just post their link on the web page. In our case, it's not a comment form. It actually gets emailed to us. But it is creating some spam. You probably see them come in groups. So if you get them, you might see like maybe 5 or 6 come all at once. They're pretty easy to tell. You can look at them and tell that it's not a real lead. The phone number looks wrong. The name is weird. And then there's also, you can see web page links in the content. And so my recommendation for now is just to delete those. We do apologize about that. And we are working on a solution. So know that in the near future, you're going to see those reduce or hopefully stop as we go forward. We're being a little careful because we don't want to be too aggressive in blocking spam. We don't want to block any real prospects. We want to make sure we're just getting the spam. And so that's kind of the balance that we have to manage on our side, is to make sure that real customers get through, but the spammers and the bots and the scammy stuff doesn't. So bear with us on that. Okay. So the third thing is the community resources page. And we talked about this last month. We went through just a check-in on who had used it. A couple of people had, and we had some pretty good feedback on that it was a good tool, that it opened up some doors with referral sources, that it helped you develop some relationships. And so, again, I'm interested in getting some feedback from you who, since the last call, if you were on the last call or watched the last call, if you have gone through the process of adding a community resources page or updating that page. If you've done that since the last call, if you could just raise your hand for us just so we can get a sense of who's following up on these activities. Mike, what do you see?
Mike just said he just stepped in my office and he had to step away for just a second.
Okay. All right, so I'm not able to see the hands raised, so we'll have to hold on for a second until Mike is back at his computer to follow up on that. So if you haven't done this, we have a page in the library. That's the Community Resources page. This is one of these things that is so simple to do and will give you tremendous benefit. It's sort of a non-traditional way to market online, but what it does is it allows you to open up the door to referral sources and establish that relationship or strengthen that relationship that will bring more leads and more website visitors your way. And it's a really cool strategy where you post links to your potential partners and current partners on this resources page and then go back to them and ask them to do the same. And in the process of that, you get to have a discussion with them about your business and their business and get to know them a little bit better. So, Mike, it sounds like you're back. Do you see any hands that have popped up?
I'm looking here real quick. Hold on for a second here. Well, we still had 4. Let me put them down and then bring them back. Sorry, because I hadn't cleared the other hands. So have them shoot them up again, and then we'll know what we got. Sorry about that.
Okay. Let's do this again. If you have used the Community Resources page, if you updated it since our last call in January, just take a second and click on the hand icon just so we can see who's put this into place. Any responses, Mike? Mike, are you there?
Oh, sorry, I had you muted. Yeah, no responses, nothing.
Okay. Okay, so that tells us something, people. This is a simple strategy. It takes a few minutes to do. It will help you grow your business. It's a no-brainer. I want to see 100% participation in this. It's really important to get those links back to your site. Your site will not show up in search results unless you have other sites linking to you. And even more important than that, having these links back to your site will drive real people, real leads, and real prospects to your site from trusted sources. And the best thing is that this will get you new friends that will help grow your business. So if you aren't sure how to put this into place, if there's something that's stopping you, please give us a call. I'm going to ask again in March, and I want to see everybody having done this. So please take a few minutes to make that Community Resources page part of your site, part of your strategy. We're all in this together. We want to see you growing sales from your website. We want to see you be more successful, and we've just got to do the work. So the last point here is the top 3 search engine tips. I'm not going to go through and rehash those today, but I just wanted to see if anybody has gone through and done any adjustments to their site based on our conversation that we had last month about the 3 top ways you can improve your site for search engine results. Let's go ahead again and just click the hand if you've done any kind of search engine work based on what we talked about last month. I'll give you a second, and then Mike, let me know what you see.
Looks like a couple. Okay. Folks have.
Okay. Should we check in with some people who have their hand up and sort of hear?
I think it's a great idea. Brian,
okay.
Talk a little bit about what you've done and how it's worked for you. I got to unmute him, so hang on for a second. He didn't enable his audio pin, so
he dodged the bullet.
Guess so. Yeah, he skipped out on that one. So the other hand went back down. I'm not sure how you could do that, but it did go back down. So, oh, he got disconnected. He's calling back in. So hang on for a second, I guess, and we will get him back on the line here.
Okay, sounds good. Now, if you're looking at this thinking top 3 search engine tips, I'm not sure what you're talking about, or I don't really remember what they were, go back to the archive. Go to the LinkedIn group and go watch the January video. We went through it in a little more detail, or actually quite a bit of detail in January. And if you still are looking at this and scratching your head and not kind of sure how to put it all in place, give us a call. because like I said before, we're all in this together. We are here because we want to help you grow your sales, and we want to help you use your website to grow your sales. So let's get that going, get those tips into place, into action.
Hey, Brian's back with us, and we're going to unmute him. There he is. All right, so Brian, talk a little bit about what you've seen as a result of what Aaron's talking about here.
Sorry about that. I just included in my titles and some of my pages my local city that I'm located in.
Great.
I don't think well, I haven't checked the rankings on the search engines to see if it's done anything.
Do you have any sort of analytics, like Google Analytics, installed on your site to see what kind of traffic you get?
I do.
Okay. Have you been watching that to see if anything has changed?
Not religiously, no.
Yeah, it can be a lot to keep tabs on that. It could be worth kind of peeking at, and search engines don't move overnight. Changes kind of happen slowly, and so you might not see you make a change the next day, a huge spike, but if you watch it week over week, month over month, hopefully you'll start to see some things happen. So maybe let's make a note and check in again next month. If you could, just peek at your analytics log, and then let's touch base and just kind of hear how it's going, to see if you started to get any additional traffic from search engines to your site. Is that okay if we do that?
Sure. Yep, absolutely.
Great.
And I think we want to again encourage everybody else on the call, grab a copy of the archive from January. Spend some time, pick up the information that we're talking about here, and then implement those tips that Aaron's talking about. We're not going to go through them again today. You've got the time to do it. Grab that archived version, implement that so that we can have a more robust and in-depth conversation about what you did and how it worked when we do this call again on March 12th. So go ahead, Aaron.
Sounds good. And I feel a little bit like a browbeater here, kind of driving into everybody that we need to do this stuff. And certainly if you already have as many sales as you can handle, and if you're already as busy as you can be handling the customers that you're bringing in, by all means, don't worry about this stuff. But if you're looking to grow your business, if you're looking to increase your sales, I certainly don't know how to close sales the way you all do. That's not my job. But I do know how to bring more leads to your website. And I'm trying to give you guys give you all very simple things that I know will work, and break it down so that it's not going to be too difficult to do. So let's work together, and let's see some success together because of it. So with that, let's jump over to Jonas, who's going to handle the kind of the feature content today about relaunching your website. So Jonas, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me, Aaron?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. So if we're looking at the slide right now, the step 1 in relaunching your website. So just as Aaron said, we're all in this together. So if you technically haven't even launched yet because a bunch of things got in the way with the holidays, or you're waiting until a certain time, or you're a new subscriber, or so on and so forth, or even if you signed to the very first person that signed up, let's just start today and let's get this out there, because you have this website. It's got great content on it, and it can do great things if you get it in front of lots of people. So one of the easiest ways to get your website out is by sending out an email announcing that you have this website. And so what you're seeing on your screen now is a draft email that you're able to use. And sometimes there's a challenge of, okay, now I have the content, I have the website as the content, and I have the outreach and education piece of being the email to get in front of people, but maybe I don't have enough email addresses to send it to. Well, one is better than none. So even if you have one, let's send out that email blast, and think about other places you can get emails addresses to that could be valuable people in your sphere of influence. So yes, you're going to send it out to anyone that you have in your database, but let's say you want to start building your database too. Maybe there are some strategic partners in your area that you want to start doing some kinds of seminars with, or you want to be on their newsletters, and vice versa. You want to share each other's websites and link up. So think about elder law attorneys, think about physicians, think about people that are involved in the caregiving community, that are involved in the long-term care planning community, and send out your website to them. And also, don't forget to send it out to people in the media. So if there's a newspaper you read in your hometown, if there's a little nickel paper you pick up on Sunday place where you have your brunch, if there's a website that you read online that happens to be local, there's a place that you can find a contact email there. Let them know that you have a website that contains content, has valuable links, things around long-term care planning and products and services that support that for seniors and for people looking to form a long-term care plan. Let the community know, and your friends, your families, your strategic partners, that you are the one-stop source of information, and this website is your 24/7 portal for it. So once again, there's the template, planting some seeds on people you can send it to if you haven't started building your database. And here's another quick idea too. Let's say you want to start partnering up with doctors. Doctors are first line of defense when it comes to knowing the health condition of the clients. And obviously some of the products that you guys sell, your money doesn't buy it, the health does. So sometimes it's good to make a strategic partner with a physician in your area. You can go online, go into Google, and it just popped in my head now, so I don't have an example to use, but you can actually buy lists, and they're cheaper than you think. So you can buy an email list of maybe local physicians. And though you will not, you'll have some gatekeepers on that, probably, going possibly not right to the doctor, maybe to someone that's in the administration there. But still, you're building a database, and usually you're paying per 1,000 names or email addresses, and it's a lot less expensive than you think. And the great thing is you can target. You can target by zip code. You can target by city, so you're not getting people that you don't want to be hitting from a strategic partnership sense. So there's a couple ideas on relaunching your website with the step 1, using an email blast. Now here's another way. We're going into step 2 now. We're still launching, and step 2 is, sending out a press release. And here's a very, I want to say vanilla, but solid press release that can be used. Now what's great about it is we're giving you links to 20+ free distribution sites. So not only is there's the template where all you're going to do is insert your state, your name, and your contact information, you can then go to these websites and have it distributed for free. Now you will get some pickups, and pickups are a win. In the media world, they're called a get. And the more gets you have, the more links you have, and then what you're able to do is reposition those and post them. And then you might be then start building some traffic because you're getting reposted in places. And what this release is doing is it's saying that if you look at the headline, I'll use Washington, that's where I'm sitting right now. Washington Long-Term Care Specialist launches online education platform. What that means to the media is when you're going to someone that's local, they love it when they can highlight someone that's local talent, something that happened there. So now, when you're putting in your state, you're talking about launching an online education platform. That's really what you guys have. You have guides on there. You have strategic resources and links. You have content that's of value. And then we have a quote in here and a link to a .gov site for Health and Human Services, talking about roughly 3 in 4 people need some form of long-term care. So we have a stat in there that's a very solid, valid stat. And then we talk about in the third paragraph that, that despite of how many people need a long-term care plan, many aren't taking action on one. And all the products that you guys sell are all part of a long-term care plan, whether it's life insurance for the newly married to long-term care insurance for someone that's planning their elder years. It's all about planning. And this kind of release will help get you into the media in your local area. And no media is too small or too big. They want to have people they can contact when they write stories. How many times have you read online or in a newspaper or something in your area and they quote a local long-term care specialist or an annuity specialist or something along those lines, and you're like, we've never heard of that person, and why didn't they pick me? Well, they were probably feeding them information, letting them know that they're the local resource. Come to me for anything you need. I'm here 24/7. Here's my website. So now we're relaunching your website to the media. So step 1, friends, family, strategic partners, style list, possibly get it out there. Step 2, relaunching it to the media. And step 3, hey, share your latest blog in an email launch. Because once again, as we're talking about, your website is really an educational platform. It has all this great content, and that's what people find value. When you give them great content where they can learn from you, then they push it around and share it around. And so take your latest blog. It's on your website, and send it out to the same email list that you would have just sent out the email letter announcing your website to, or take your blog and post it on other people's social media sites. This is February's American Heart Month. Take this blog and post it as many places as you can and see what happens. Once again, you got nothing to lose, and the more that you do it, the more traction you're going to get. And it only takes one great, signing up with one great strategic partner, or getting connected to, the big newspaper in your area or things like that, or someone finding value in you, then that will then kind of snowball. It'll start rolling like a wet snowball down a hill, and you'll start getting more traffic to your site, more referrals, more opportunities. And I'm going to throw a little cherry on top here. Since we're talking about your website and wondering and sending out to media, it's not in the deck here, but a quick way to help monitor to see if you're getting any kind of traction from the press release alone is Google Alerts. And so I just want you to write down, www.google.com/alerts. And what this is, it's a free service, and it helps monitor kind of, things that are happening online. So we can monitor your website in the sense of your name, your website address, some of the things that you do. And when you go to Google Alerts, you type in, there's a search query, and what you're going to do is type in your name, maybe some of the products that you specialize in, so long-term care insurance hypothetically, or critical illness. Type in your website address, things that the Google Alert will kind of search for. And then there's, I believe, a drop-down bar for result type. How often do you want to get it? Once a day, twice a day? And what they're going to send you is an email once a day to your inbox that's going to let you know if your website or something about the products and services that you sell came up online. Now, it's not perfect, but it is free. So it helps monitor stories that are happening with products you sell, helps monitor if you got any pickups. It keeps you really current with competitors and then, what's going on in your industry. And it's just a great free service. So I suggest that you do it. Once a day, I think, is fine. Know that you will get an email from them. And what it will be is just a bunch of links in there. And so you can scan it pretty quick and see if you see anything that's of value to you. And then just delete it and wait for your one the next day. But it's a great way to get good content, so you're not always going out there, where's the latest long-term care insurance news piece or critical illness or something on annuities or med subs. If you use that terminology in the search query, this is going to send you a once-a-day email that's going to contain kind of, the top stories. And it won't always be perfect, but you'll be 80% there. It saves you a ton of time, gives you more content to push out, more things to add to your social networking, and a great way to monitor if you happen to be getting any traffic with your website being posted online. Back to you, Aaron, unless there's some questions.
I think that's great. The Google Alert service is a nice little bonus to all of this. And just another tip, this blog post, February's American Heart Month, it actually went live on your websites today or last night. So go take a look, read that article there. And like Jonas said, share it on social media. You can just click on these links on the top of the screen to post on the Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn. So it's really easy to do. It'll take you 5 minutes to get this done today. So with that, Mike, I think it's to you to open up the floodgates.
Yes, it is to me, and I'm going to take a minute here and open up said floodgates. Looks like we have one trailing question here real quick before we kick things open. They wanted to go back a page real quick. They wanted to see the website. Apparently, whatever Jonas just had up there, there you go. Okay, perfect. All right, we'll leave that on there for just a minute and let Meyer catch up real quick. And we'll start the other process here, get everybody unmuted so that we can have a little bit of an open forum. So while we're unmuting everybody, we're going to ask that as we do this, if you've got background noise, television, tea kettle, dog, cat, whatever, maybe *6 unless you have something that you want to throw out so as to be respectful with everybody else's time and so that they can talk with us. And first thing I want to address, sort of echoing some things that Aaron said earlier, but and again, not to be under the heading of pounding on people, but this entire process with what we're doing here with Connected Agent, it requires some tending, much like a garden, I guess you'd say. The Connected Agent team, we convene for about a half-hour pre-flight every week before we actually do the call, and then a lot of times we get together for a debrief afterwards. So we're, besides the 45 minutes on the call, we've committed another hour, setting aside any other individual interactions that we have with you. We're setting aside an hour to make sure that what we put together for you is impactful, and it's the kind of thing that you can take advantage of. So I think it's a reasonable expectation that these campaigns that we're putting out, take the 10 or 15 or 20 minutes that it takes. You will begin to see the results, and as you are sort of tacitly seeing now, not doing so really isn't paying anything off. So, all right, so with that said, let's open things up. Let's hear, anybody got some success stories? Let's talk about those first. Okay, there we got somebody in the background. So, all right, anybody have anything in particular that they've seen happen out there that they want to share for everybody else or with everybody else?
Yeah. So why didn't this guy do a demo on this?
I will get to the bottom of this. Hold on for just a minute. So real quick, while we're waiting for those things to come flying out at us, I would note the first group that came on board with us, and you know who you are, the Jumpstart program will be ending here at the end of this month. You know where you're at. We've reached out to you before. I just remind you that something as simple as your own critical illness policy would be enough to keep this the website moving forward. So we got somebody out there that didn't heed the request to individually mute. So we've sort of lost that. So other than that, anybody want to step in and talk about how things are going for them? We had nobody volunteer success stories. So tell us a little bit about how things are going. Dave McKay, I know you're out there. You didn't hit the PIN code, but I would like to get you unmuted. So if you could key in that 2-digit PIN code, I know that you and I have talked some, and you've got some things going on. So Brian, I know you're still out there as well. What, other than the things we talked about, what are you seeing, or are you getting any feedback from people that are looking at your website, that sort of thing?
I have gotten some feedback from people that are looking at it. They like the content. They appreciate, kind of learning about the products before we discuss them, either on the phone or face-to-face.
Well, that's good. Good opportunity to get information out there. It serves a lot of different purposes. Some we haven't addressed directly, but it is, as Aaron or Jonas said a few minutes ago, this is an educational site as well. You do have that opportunity to let this site plant seeds for folks once you tell them it's there. That's why the relaunch is such a good opportunity. If you haven't told everybody you can think of, not just your clients, but everybody that's in your anywhere involved at all in your orbit, you're passing up an opportunity. We want to stress that. All right, anybody want to come forward with any challenges that they're having, problems, issues? We talked about the spammy email thing, so we know that we've covered that. Anybody else out there having challenges with this as well? Let's see here. Tom Doncaster notes that he's connected his Facebook and LinkedIn with this, and he likes the tool. So very good, very good. All right, anybody else out there with challenges, issues that we can help address along the way?
Mike, this is Brian again. Where do we find the resources, for example, like the press release and the distribution sites to post it to?
We're going to push those out on the LinkedIn user group for Connected Agent. Travis will work with Jonas and get those things pushed out as soon as we get done with the call. They should be posted by 11 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Great. Great. All right. Setting all that aside, no other questions here right now. What else do you want to learn? What can we bring to you that's going to make this more valuable? Keeping in mind that when we bring it, we're going to expect that we get the 20 or 30 minutes of your time to finish the campaign launch portion and get it out there. So what would you like to see us bring to you in the March user group meeting? Again, March user group will be on the 12th, 9 a.m. Pacific time as always. Anything in particular you want to see in that user group?
Mike, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, it's Mary Justice, and I hesitate. Hi, I hesitate to even add this to the list because I haven't done all my homework assignments. But one thing that I'm hoping we will be able to use the site for is adding our own pieces onto the site. And I'll give you an example. Like the NAIC Shopper's Guide. I know that came up in a call maybe 3 calls ago about how we take a piece like that and make it available on our website.
Aaron?
Yeah, Mary, are you thinking about making it available so people can just download it, or do you want to create like a form that generates leads?
Oh,
well,
probably
okay.
the form that generates leads would be great. Yeah, I like that idea.
We do have a couple other guides already available as forms like that. And
right, I know.
What you can do is you can actually, if you created a page just to give away the NAIC Shopper's Guide on your site, maybe I could demo this next month. What you could do is just take the form. We already have a form created for the Kiplinger 4 Quick Tips guide, which is a similar guide. And you can just edit that form to offer the NAIC Shopper's Guide instead and add it to the page that you created. And so it's a 2-step process. One is to edit the form to have the guide you want to give away. And the second step is to create a page to offer the guide and put that form on it. And
Aaron, I think though in short order she was at, I mean, the bottom line is you can for sure. If you have a PDF of a guide that you think is going to generate interest, you can post it on your website. And I think if you need help with that, we'd love to help you and show it next week. But the shopper guides is a great example of probably something that a lot of people want to have.
Okay, great.
Great idea, Mary. Great idea. So.
Thank you.
All right, Ron Lewis, I know you've got something for us out there, but it looks like you've muted yourself. So why don't you go ahead and unmute and jump on in.
Can you hear me now?
Go. I can hear you now. Go right ahead.
Okay. When you mentioned the email lists before, did you have any particular companies or links, and I also wanted to know if there's any kind of way to get any kind of demographics from those lists too.
You know, I didn't have a company listed. It kind of popped in my head as I was talking to you guys, thinking of more resources for you. What I'll do is I'll spend a few minutes when we get off the call, and I'll push it back out to you guys with the rest of the stuff that's going to come out today. There's, I would think, a few dozen at least sources out there that online. I'll try and find one that I think is of quality that should work for at least finding local professionals. I haven't had much luck purchasing internet lists and going to cold blasting to try and generate leads to sell product. But it's definitely a great way to get yourself out there by connecting with other professionals within your industry and so on. So I'll do my best to source a quality one, and we'll get it out to you today. Another great place to get some emails, though, too, is just in your own LinkedIn network. I mean, if you can pull from that database and blast to them as well, or is another idea, too.
How often would you recommend to be sending emails to our clients without overdoing it?
I'm a big fan of once a month unless there's something that you're doing, like an event or a seminar, or you have something new to let them know. So it's almost like coming up with what an email campaign would be. So, you know, maybe there's one around tax season that's relevant about tax deductions for an LTCI policy, and then there's another email that comes the following month about a new guide. Or so picking some value content to them, I'm kind of a fan of once a month, but then if there's, you know, some highlighting thing come into it. But Aaron may have different thoughts, and there, you know, once again, there's no right from wrong. Those are just my opinions. Aaron, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Once a month, unless there's something sort of special to bring up, or you don't want to overdo it, because if you overdo it, people will just stop reading your emails. But you also don't want to underdo it, because if you only send an email out twice a year, people might forget who you are, and you'll see you want to kind of balance that. Once a month is enough that people will still remember the previous one when they get the next one, but not so much that they feel like you just are emailing them constantly.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good exchange there. Anybody else with questions, things that we can bring to you for the next, this is helpful for us in terms of setting up, or it will be in terms of setting up what we want to do for you in March. So if you have anything else.
Subsidiary and member FINRA, SIPC. Empire Wealth Strategies is independent of HTK. Your call is important to us and is big.
Okay, well, thankfully they came back. I was getting ready to mute everybody and then undo it one at a time. All right, any other questions that we've got here? We're getting towards quarter till the hour, and we want to be respectful of everybody's time, including the members of the team. So any last questions that we can help you with? Again, we will reconvene the user group March 12th. It's a Wednesday, as always. It'll be 9 a.m. Pacific. Final reminder for those of you who joined us in August, and again, we have reached out to you. You're at the tail end of the jumpstart period. Again, something as simple as your own critical illness policy could be all you need to be able to keep the site available to you for another 90 days at no additional out-of-pocket. Give me a call here at AIM at 800-672-7202, and I can make sure that we're in tune with what it is that you're trying to do. So, all right, I guess with that, without anybody holding their hand up or jumping in with questions, we're going to go ahead and close things down. So thanks, everybody, for your time. Team, appreciate you all being here as well. And we got one late running question, of course. The Google screen. We'll cover that offline, Meyer. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and close everything up. Thanks, everybody, and appreciate it. We'll talk again soon.
Great. Thank you all.
All right. Have a good day.